that was my most important takeaway was being myself, incorporating all of the things that I enjoy and making them digestible for the listener and myself, and just being on top of being truthful,
Yeah.
because I think that's very important, is just and your word choices as well. The power of the tongue is very powerful. So,
Yeah, I appreciate that so much.
yeah.
And like I said, and that's what I share that to say is like, don't be afraid to, wait your turn, and then also like
Right.
support each other. Like I'm saying, if we're you got a show, I got a show, we all the same show. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, buy the ticket, or yo, my homie up next. I'm
Yep.
saying, we can stay and we can watch and we can
Yeah.
enjoy, because you never know what those.
As cliche as it's gonna come off, bro, just do it. Just do it. Like, for real, like, you just gotta do it. And when you do it, stay on it. That's the biggest thing. Like, after you press play or after you hit record, do it again. And typically that's what's going.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the
Hey.
harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I
Yes,
got a
sir.
special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
What's up, man? My name is TP. I'm from PG County, Maryland. It's an honor to be here, bro.
For sure, man. For sure. So, like, for the people that don't know, like, your upbringing in PG County, like, what part of PG County, like, how was the childhood for you, man?
It was pretty solid, man. I moved a lot. I was born in Oxon Hill. Lived out there for maybe like until I was like 7. Then I moved to Lanham, Greenbelt area.
Okay.
And I spent majority of my school life out there. But I still, lived quite a few places in PG County. So when I say I'm from PG County, I really do mean like almost like the entire scope of it, because I kind of, I was everywhere.
Got you.
Lanham, Greenbelt, Oxon Hill, Landover, Seat Pleasant, a lot of different places, man. So
And then when you look at PG County, you'd be like, man, the cities are like 5 minutes, like
that's what
10
I'm
minutes from each
saying,
other.
bro.
So it's like, yo,
Greenbelt,
okay.
Lanham is like
Right there.
10
A
seconds
mesh,
away from
right.
each other.
Exactly.
For sure.
Like the what is it? The 564.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Or
That whole
193.
thing.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So
For
like,
sure.
your childhood in school, like, did you have any like favorite hobbies, things that you found yourself doing?
Oh yeah. In school, I was really big on um acting. I was in drama, a chorus. I was in a bunch of different types of stuff like that. Like, I like being on stage. At a young age, I was in plays from 4th grade. I did a lot of poetry 3rd grade. I did try for basketball, but I didn't make it. That was like 7th grade too. I guess they was trying to be nice. They let me get to like the 2nd cut, and then the 3rd cut, they was like, yeah, sorry, man. Maybe when you get a little taller, we can figure it out. But I was definitely into being on stage, and I did a lot of plays, musicals, pretty much elementary, middle, and high school. So
That's fire, man. Like, I think, being a creative, or at least having an idea of what
yeah,
you want to do, is definitely dope. And then, being able to be exposed to it early,
absolutely.
is definitely fire as well. So like, as you transition now, that's the, elementary, middle, like, how was some of the high school experiences?
Um, it was cool. 9th grade was a little rough because that transition from middle to high school is not the easiest. Went to Duval High School. So I will say that school was a bit, when I got there, it calmed down a lot, but it was that transition from 8th to 9th grade was cool, but you're trying to find your place. You're going through puberty. You're still maturing. I always kept that level of sanity of like, all right, like, I'm a good kid. I'm not no delinquent dude. So I definitely knew right and wrong, but that balance of trying to, who do I want to really hang with? Do I want to hang with the guys that watch Dragon Ball Z, or do I want to hang with the guys posted up at 7-Eleven? So that balance was pretty unique, and I definitely found a way to get through it. But 9th grade was a bit rough, as far as grades, and then 10th and 11th and 12th I kind of excelled, but that 9th grade year, it was a little shaky. It was a little shaky.
I would say, like, for me, my sophomore year was shaky.
Dang.
Yeah, like it's like that sophomore slump. Like, you feel like
Yeah.
you're good. It's like, all right,
Right.
bet. Now I'm
Yeah.
saying like,
Yeah.
okay, rookie of the year. I feel good. Now I'm saying I'm straight. But my sophomore slump,
Right.
nah, bro.
A lot of
Like,
people say
yeah.
like senior and junior because it's the same thing you said. Like it's like that. Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I mean, I ain't really got too much complaints, but yeah, no, it depends. Everybody different.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So as you transition from that, like, did you kind of already like find purpose? Did you have the idea of you knew what you kind of wanted to do after the high school, or like what was it like for you?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to go into acting or some type of Broadway movies. I always wanted to stay in line with being on stage or entertainment. I always knew I kind of had that personality and just had that drive to be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go forward with this with the drama, entertainment, TV. So I kind of did know, but it was just like how I'm gonna get there. You know, I'm gonna just keep trying to participate in plays. I was in a couple film festivals, TV production. It was cool, man. Like I said, like I kind of knew, but it was just a matter of like how I'm gonna get there. So
For sure. Yeah, definitely. And I can like piggyback to that because, like, I know in high school I was taking, like I said, media production,
Yeah.
things like that as well.
Yeah.
So just definitely loving that and like the whole notion of like broadcasting, especially, when I got to college and everything
Beautiful.
like that. So
It's
it kind
great.
of segues into like, what I'm doing today,
Mm.
which is just like, that. So your love for music, like how did you kind of like get introduced to it, or like how did that come about? Because as a creative, there's so many things,
Man,
that
can
we can
stem from a lot,
explore
bro.
and stem from a lot. So like,
Yeah.
what was that interaction or introduction for you with music?
Mom,
Okay,
my mother.
shout out to mom.
Shout out to mama. My mom was playing music every day. In the car going to school, Russ Parr morning show,
Oh yeah,
all of that. Donnie Simpson. She had her own CDs. Then when she'd pick us up from school, playing music in the car. Then when we in the house, she would have a speaker. A stereo system, playing music there. So it was like every second of the day, and then you turn on the TV, 106
yeah,
in Park.
106 in Park.
So
yeah.
it's like it was something every second of my life that was musical. So I was always inclined to it, and that's why I think I was into poetry because I just love music. I mean, words.
Got you.
I was really big on how to say words and how to enunciate and just like how words are like the same. Like I like trying to find an example. Like it's like how you can have the same word, but it's like I don't know. I don't want to think about it too much right now, but words always was kind of like was always kind of cool to me. So I always just pursued vocab.
Yeah, vocabulary.
And
sharpen it for sure.
Definitely my mom, my oldest brother, he had a CD player, and my first like real introduction to replaying a song was Pac.
Okay.
I was listening to Changes.
Okay.
And that song literally, I was like, yo, like, I don't know who this dude is. I'm like 5 years old. I don't know who this dude is. Amazing.
Right.
So, like I definitely my family, man, for sure. And then, my friends in school, but it was definitely my family. I gotta get that shout out to my people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, man, like I know my mom, she, like I said, always listening to music and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like, I know for me, like, shout out to the millennials, 90 babies. You know what I mean?
I'll
It's
tell
just a
you.
different time.
We the
I
best.
feel like I think, like I said, and that's when it's like, they'd be like, man, that was the music that, you had to really go back in the day and really
Yeah,
appreciate.
bro.
Like
For
you had to
real.
understand that,
All of that.
like even from that and just the
Yeah.
whole arts and everything like that,
It was more appreciated then.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was more effort into it.
For sure. And like it's like, yo, you had to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
That
what
whole
I'm saying.
notion is like
To
you
get
had
in
to be
that door,
good.
you had to be
Yeah,
something.
you had to be good. You had to be something like you had to
Yeah.
have like some type of it factor, that swagger, or
Substance.
whatever there was, a substance. So like, like I said, from the Pac to the Biggie to the Rakim to all of that, like that
Every single
early
last
cloth
one.
is like, whoa.
It's different, bro.
It was definitely different. So
Yeah.
your experience, like when you first hopped in the studio, like how was that for you? Because I know like, from a creative standpoint, it's like, boom, okay,
Yeah.
I'm here, this is an idea.
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, but I'm actually in the studio and I'm
Yeah.
actually like recording something for the first time. So like, how was that for you?
So you talking about the first time I did it?
Yeah, like the very first time you ever did it. Like, boom, I stepped in the studio and boom.
So the first time, it was kind of for fun. That's kind of how I started. I always knew I was kind of good at it. I freestyling at the lunch tables, all of that. It was always cool. My friends like, man, TP, you should really like pursue it. I'm like, no, I'm really an actor, bro. I really kind of want to stick to that. So after high school, I kind of like just I still freestyled and did my thing for fun. But my first time in the studio was it was serious, but I didn't know where it was going to go.
Gotcha.
You know, so I just was kind of like, I mean, I'm good at it. But it was just for fun. Like a lot of the takes we had was just us freestyling over beats my man made, and it was fun, man. I didn't really like know like so I started like seriously rapping in 2015.
Okay.
I didn't know like all right, like I'm really finna do this like for real, like 2016. But like that whole 2015 period, God forbid anybody try to, if I, when I blow, go back on YouTube and find them. It's parody. It's meme rap. Yeah, I'm just having fun.
Got you.
So 2016 is when I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to really take this serious. Like, for real. I took it serious in 2015, but it wasn't like nothing like what I was after that. So
Got you.
it was 2015, but it was cool, but it was for fun. That's kind of how it typically starts.
Yeah, for sure. Like you just hop around. You don't know what you're doing. You're
yeah.
exploring. You're in exploration.
Yeah,
now I'm saying
sure.
that's what I would definitely say. And then it's like it has that sense of urgency where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? I have arrived.
Right.
Now I'm saying so it's
All
like,
right.
all right, cool. I can really
Now's the
like
time.
lock in and really
Right.
do this. So
Yeah.
as you're navigating and you're going through it, right? Like what were some things that really like stood out to you? Because art, is very subjective, as we all know, and
Absolutely.
things of that nature. But like, what were the intangibles and things that you felt like you had to own in on as an artist? Definitely developing yourself and introducing yourself to others.
Yeah.
With it, like, what were some of those things you felt like, okay, when it came to morals, principles, or my art, when you hear this, my expectation was this.
Mine was just my experiences, man. Like, cliche to say, I mean, everybody kind of go off their experiences and such, but my most important takeaway from being a rapper was being myself. That's the most takeaway. A lot of people are trying to be something they're not. They're trying to fit into this category of like, all right, bet. Let me get the chains. Let me get the tattoos. Let me get the auto-tune. Let me lie. Let me say this. My most important takeaway was being myself. I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm gonna incorporate Sonic the Hedgehog in my music.
Right.
I like Spider-Man. I'm gonna do something. That was my most important takeaway was being myself, incorporating all of the things that I enjoy, and making them digestible for the listener and myself, and just being on top of being truthful. Because I think that's very important. Is just and your word choices as well. The power of the tongue is very powerful. So be careful. I always was big on like being careful about what I say. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna shoot this guy. That's all cool and it's whatever you want to call it. But it's like I ain't doing that, so I'm not gonna lie about that. So my whole thing was being true to myself, rapping about my everyday, my mental health, and my experiences, how I was raised, what I'm doing now, what I'm eating. It's all about how you do it though, and how you convey the message. Because you're just not gonna say, I woke up this morning, ate some vegetables, and then took a dump. Or we're not talking about that. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that.
Right.
Or if I was to do that, it would be conveyed differently.
Right. For sure.
So it's like a lot of people are doing that, but it's just like, it's like, does it make sense? Or it also has to, like I said, it has to make sense to the listener. So yeah, it's a lot. It's
for sure. No, I get that. Cause like I said, prior to like podcasting and helping the youth, like me rapping as well, like I get it.
Right.
I'm saying you want to be as authentic to yourself. And there's been plenty of times where I'm like, all right, yeah, well, if I'm gonna rap, it's like journalism. You're gonna rap what you see, you're gonna rap what you know, you're gonna rap what you experience, but then it's like, okay, cool. And I love how you sat there and said, like being your authentic self. Because that's the biggest thing. Like only you can tell it. Only you could tell it.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So like if only you could tell it, it's like embrace that and walk into that. Cause like in the DMV itself, like, back then it was like it's different eras. You know what I'm saying? Because like I
So
said,
many
a
different
90s baby, like we
Yeah.
understand, like understanding the
Yeah.
technology and all that. Like you're talking about LimeWire, you're talking about Dat Piff,
all of that.
Spinrilla. You know what I'm
What is
saying?
it?
All
The
of this.
Gorilla giant, the app, the Spinrilla.
Yeah,
My bad.
Spinrilla. Yeah, Spinrilla.
All
So
of
it was
that.
like, yo, you know, when you was on the front page and
Yeah.
all of that vibes and everything
Yeah.
like that, you had to film more Howard Theater, all these
Exactly.
places, Echo Stage when it was first popping, like
Right.
all of that stuff. Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I'm passionate about music, y'all. So I remember all these places.
Yeah. No,
you know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
it.
Like,
I love it.
and
I
even
love it.
like Cafe
I love it.
Asia and all that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And Red Lounge and all that. So
Yeah.
if you if I named all those places, you know, you know. If you're in
Right.
the DMV, you know, you know. So it's like with
Yes,
that,
sir.
and of course, like Listen Vision, and shout out to Eddie Kane, shout out to Uncle Yank, God rest Uncle Yank, so he passed away, but and
Rest
Tony
in
Rez
peace.
as well. You know
Rest
what I'm
in
saying?
peace.
A lot of people literally paved the way
Yeah.
in the music scene for the DMV, you know, and at that time, like I said, we are all coming together, and it was like, you know, you have go-go
Mhm.
and then you have rap. So
Absolutely.
like rap was being embraced back then, you know.
Rest in
And
peace,
now
Chuck
we
Brown.
see it. It's like it's emerging so much. We have a lot of artists and we have a lot of talent.
Yes.
So what were some of those, like, I guess, hurdles that you had to like overcome? Because, you know, like I said, we're seeing and we know that it may be more trap than substance.
Yeah.
It may be more this than that. So like what were some of the hurdles that you faced early?
I would say the big one is a lot of guys from the DMV, a lot of artists or just rappers. It's more so a thing where I'm sure it's like this everywhere, but I'm gonna speak from where I'm from. A lot of people don't want to really be. It goes back to what I said, like just being authentic. You know, a lot of people in just in this area are more so filled with just the cool things and what's popping, and you know what I'm saying, like it's a lot of that going on out here. You know, shout out to everybody doing what they got to do, but the people like that are really rapping about something, you don't hear much about them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or if you do, they're considered corny. They're considered, oh, nobody wants to hear that, and I can say that from in this area, a lot of people deal with that, and a lot of people say like, it ain't much talent in the DMV. It is.
Yeah.
We just not broadcasting it. I can name you 5 people off the top of my head right now that's vicious, and that they need to be on the pedestal.
Nah,
you know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? So it's like that was one of the big hurdles for me, just being in an area where what I do and what I say is never going to be broadcast that much because it's not considered cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I could rap about everyday stuff that a YN would rap about, but then it's like, which one gonna sound better? Which one is gonna be conveyed, better, or and I would consider myself conscious. So I say a lot of things that a lot of people don't really want to hear and tend to make people uncomfortable. And then they try to say, well, I really didn't understand it. Can you slow it down? So I deal with that. Like people telling me to dumb down my raps, and never, so that's definitely a hurdle. Like, just being in an area where you feel like you're being a tad misheard, but you're not. It's just nobody really want to hear that, truthfully. But you got to overcome that. You got to get over that hurdle and find your audience and your target audience and people that really want to hear you out and stream and see you perform. And it's all about just getting over that.
Yeah, I think that we it's so many creatives, from the producers to the rappers, like so many in the DMV, and I think that being authentic and being consistent allows people to stand out.
Exactly.
Like I said, a lot of people will say, of course, like Wale, Shag Lizzy, Fat Trail, Logic, Rico Nasty, Go Link. It's so many names. Brett Fires, like
so many.
So many names that we can name. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'm just saying, like, it's too many, right? And it's like as it evolves, we have to realize, okay, what can we do, right, as a collective to highlight these people and things like that nature? Because I feel like, I've embraced being the underdog my whole entire life.
I love it.
That's how I looked at it. Whatever I did, I was going to go ahead and be the best that I could be. So,
absolutely.
Of course, being on stages and doing shows with rappers probably that didn't have the same story as me, but like you sat there and said, the trap and things like that, I embraced it. It's cool, but at the end of the day, I know that that's not me. I ain't going to sit there and rap about things
something you're not.
and something I'm not.
Right.
And I think what really hinders the area is the creative collaboration piece, because like I said, we have so much to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody does talk about the fashion, the spots, and everything like that.
Right.
Now it's just like, okay, what is the infrastructure, or what are some of these things that people need to really tap into?
Absolutely.
And there's so many of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
so many.
Yeah, and I think what I had to overcome and realize is like, okay, sometimes playing away is better than being at home, because when you're at away, it's receptive a little bit different. But as long as you was starting at home, you can always come back home to do what you do too. You know what I mean? So like, beautiful. Could you really speak on that? Because I think a lot of people do get discouraged of doing the shows or the open mics or what have you. But could you speak to that and like your experiences and like doing shows?
Doing shows from like 2022 to like now has been crazy. A big shout out to this platform named Open Gym.
Yeah, shout out Nature Boy.
Shout out Nature Boy. Open Gym paved the way for so many artists. They gave us tips, tricks, a platform, a stage to just really do what we wanted to do. And I stuck with Open Gym for that long, for however long they did the open mics, and what I'm saying, and it was beautiful, bro. Going there sometimes to not even performing, watching new talent hit the stage, and my experience performing has been really great. It's all about taking that leap. I saw Open Gym. I literally, bro, when I first started, like, because I backed out of, it's a whole timeline with me. I backed out of rapping. I was a SoundCloud rapper for like 3-4 years, and then I put my stuff on streaming. I'm like, all right, bet. So let me actually perform. So I searched up venues and not venues, but places that do open mics and stuff. And Open Gym was the first place that popped up, or the first thing that popped up. Gotcha. So my advice is like, do it. And when you do it, stay on it. Don't get off it. Oh yeah, I did it once. No, you gotta keep going. Consistency is the most important thing I can tell anybody. That's the best advice. You can just go to places. If Open Gym is not having an open mic for another 3 months, you need to be doing something related to that, whether that be creating music or surrounding yourself with people that do the same thing you're doing, and that's on the same cloth and wavelength and mindset as you. So that's really like a big part of it. Like, just being on top of your consistency. You perform one time, try to do it again in another 2 months. And if you're a little nervous to do it, actually tell the audience that depending on how the crowd is, because it's some tough crowds, but I will say Open Gym, I've seen people say all the time, oh, I'm a bit nervous, and then we give them so much praise that it is just gone. Yeah. And then they do such a great job. So my experiences performing has been great, man. I performed at a lot of different venues. I opened up for Bone Thugs and Harmony at the Fillmore.
That's fire.
I've done a lot, bro. I've been with people that have opened up. Nature Boy has opened up for a lot. Jadakiss.
Yeah.
So many different people. Been right there to support him. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just about being in the room with the person that's winning, and you can get so inspired by that, man. And just know for yourself, you need to be comfortable in your skin to know, like, all right, bet, like, my time will come eventually. Yeah. God got me. Yeah. Because a lot of people, they get filled with envy and jealousy. They like, oh man, why he getting it and now it's not my time? Because it's not your time yet, brother. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get it, God gonna get you right. And if it's not gonna happen for you, then it maybe your calling is somewhere else, man. We all here for a purpose. So
yeah, for sure. And I love how you sat there and said that, right? Because I think that's the biggest thing when you're building community, right? Yeah. A lot of us want to win, but may not know how to. So then the notion is, okay, you surround yourself with winners, they're gonna give you the information, then you'll start winning. So you gotta understand what it is. And I've learned that through like the power of networking and building community and things of that nature. Like I said, when it comes to platforms, I salute all creators that continue to create. Because I tell them all the time, like you have to, regardless of the platform, and just showing up. Like treat the open mic like the big show. Treat it the same way.
You gotta treat it.
You gotta treat it the same way, because at the end of the day, of course, you want to be on the big stage, but the open mics help you get your reps up, so that way you know what it is. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
If I had to, if I was given 10 minutes to perform here, all right, cool. Now all of a sudden I'm on the big stage and they talking about 15, 20. You got to get those 5 to 10 minute reps, so that way you're preparing yourself for that big moment.
I'm telling you,
and it's going to pay off in multiple ways. I know, like myself, and like I said, 2015, when I took it serious and things like that, like the Fillmore, being able to perform at the Fillmore, that was dope.
Beautiful, bro.
Now I'm saying doing that, and then of course opening up for P&B Rock, God rest his soul. Like now I'm saying being able to do that, Howard Theater, AC3, South by Southwest, like these different places, it prepared me, because I was always doing the open mics, and I would never forget Tony Reds. Like now I'm saying, God rest his soul, he gave me an opportunity. Like I just did an open mic. He just like, yo, come through. It's an open mic, DMV artist, this, that, and the third. Joint started at 9 p.m. I'm like, boom, I came in there at 8:30, started at 9 p.m. Boom, I ain't rapping till like 12. I stayed and watched every single rapper. I left at 2.
I've done that a lot too, man.
I left at 2. He gave me a piece of paper and said, yeah, bro, we gonna have your song on the radio. Boom, had the song on the radio and everything like that. I said, yo, was there a reason why I got this paper? He said that. He was like, nah, not really. But then the other dude said that was like, the reason why you got the paper is because, in the DMV, a lot of people just rap and roll. They don't support.
Right.
We saw you support. So, yeah. And I'm like, appreciate y'all. But he said that, he was like, yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to support each other.
You deserve that, bro. Yeah, because you sat there, you supported, you know what I'm saying? And you genuinely sat there and waited, not only for your turn, but you waited for other people to perform. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Where people just don't. It's a lot of selfish stuff going on out here, bro. It's all about what they got going on, and that's a big thing, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Deserve that.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. Yeah. And then, like I said, and that's what I share that to say is like, don't be afraid to, wait your turn, and then also like support each other. Like I'm saying, if we're you got a show, I got a show, we all on the same show. Like, yo, buy the ticket, or yo, my homie up next. I'm saying we can stay and we can watch and we can enjoy, because you never know what those collaborations can lead to, bro.
Definitely.
I'm saying, it's like you do a song, I do a song. Oh yeah, bet we hop on the song together. You got somebody that do videos. Oh, bet they can do my content too. Oh yeah, dang, I got an engineer. I got a place we could go to. Now all of a sudden it's like more resources.
We would all win if we all win, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people like, no, I just wanted to be about me. I wanted to be about, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that going on. So I encourage everybody to just be careful about that, and just watch out for people that is just they're only out for self. When there are people, like us, where we don't mind building a team and allowing our friends and partners to grow, and if it's their turn to be on stage, we're gonna be right there to support them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing, bro.
For sure. So like, as you're navigating all of this stuff though, like how is like the self-care been like? Because I know you have to like take the time to like reflect and all of that stuff. So like, what is the self-care process for you?
Definitely staying out of the way, bro. Like staying out the way, just being around genuine people that keep me grounded, people that keep me level-headed, and just keeping me not stagnant, excuse me, wrong word, keeping me stabilized, and just the music that I do too. Like I have a whole project about peace, and my whole 4 projects, I got 4 projects that I've done in the course of from 2022 to 2024. And it's basically about me finding peace in this chaotic world. Like in the 4-album course, that was basically essentially my therapy. Wow. On top of going to therapy. But, like the first one was being reincarnated. It's called The Blue Butterfly. The second one is about me basically navigating through it, which is the setting is purgatory. That one is called The One That Got Away. The third one is called Into the Pastoral. Basically me finding heaven and being in it and trying to adjust to it. And then the fourth one is Into the Pastoral Act 2, basically me enjoying the fruits of my labor. So it's like me trying to navigate through all of these avenues and just being so critical on myself. Like that's hard enough, but just trying to stay out the way and just eat properly and just do all these great things, man. And again, being around people that genuinely care about not TP but Tyree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not the stage, not all of that glitz and glamour. Actually love me and care about what I got going on as a man, as a human being. Just it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into this music, and it's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of people that just want the same thing you got going on, bro.
Nah, for sure. And I would say like self-care for me is always like the reflection piece.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, I don't want to be busy. Let me sit still. Let me enjoy and celebrate. So like, as you had talked about your projects, like for me, like I had 6. So I did On My Way to Stardom. After On My Way to Stardom, it was Driven to Win. After that, it was Mr. 301. After Mr. 301, it was Flow Meets World. After Flow Meets World,
hard.
it was Elevation.
Okay.
And then after Elevation, it was Exaggerated Truth.
Okay.
And then after Exaggerated Truth, it was Chosen Child.
Nice.
But I always felt like it was just alignment. At those times, there were definitely pivotal times.
Yeah.
Of course, from, like I said, this is like graduating college, about to graduate, and then doing that, and then just understanding that everything is timely.
Yeah.
And then the things that I was rapping about, of course, like what we see in the news and everything like that, who's going to be the change to actually do something.
Right.
And it's like God was already preparing me to do it. From that notion, like you're rapping about it.
Yeah.
Now I'm calling you to actually act on it.
Right.
So now this is like a reinvention with the podcast now, and just understanding that and just helping the next generation.
You're doing it, bro, and I'm
literally doing it.
It's a great thing, man. It's a great thing. And like I said to you before, this is what you was called to do. Like you said, like we all know, sometimes we do know when God is calling us. Sometimes we choose to accept it. Sometimes we choose to ignore it. You answered it and you're doing it. So very proud of you, bro.
Appreciate it, man. And then like I said, it's not easy. And like you sat there and said, like, for me, it's like, yo, people know Jay. People know J Flow. Like, yo, people need to know Jason.
Thank you.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, yes,
you.
I understand that. Like, please don't understand. Like, please don't get that twisted. Like, when people have to understand, like, okay, bet it's the performance.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, bro. Like, no. Like, me as a person, my well-being, like
me.
Yeah, me. Like, it's the show, the music, or oh yeah, you do this. Like, don't let that be the identity. Let you know me as a person.
Right.
Like, remove this, remove that, remove that.
Exactly. The glitz and glamour, where all of that, take away all of that and get to know my soul.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like the true me, how I was raised, how my upbringing, what I like to eat, what I like to watch, what I like to do. All of that's important, bro. It goes into our character. And it's a lot.
And I think that also, like, with that artistry as well, is like we have something to say.
Yes.
And we generally want to say it. Yeah. And sometimes they're like, ain't nobody hearing me though. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why we continue to do it. Because it's like, yo, ain't nobody hearing me though. So, all right, cool. Like, y'all gonna hear this. Y'all gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? So like, even understanding that, just being authentic in the platform and what you have, and realizing, okay, well, the platform was given to you. So I want to, salute you and how you're stewarding yours.
Appreciate you,
because it's like you're being intentional about what you want people to see.
Yes.
And you're also like not forgetting the essence and how you were introduced to it. So, hey, look, if I was introduced to storytelling when I was a kid, it's right that I'm gonna give you stories.
Yeah.
If it's like, if I was heavy on imagery, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna do that as well, because you're a steward of it. You know what I'm saying? You're a student of the game also.
For sure.
And you recognize the pioneers and everybody like that.
All the
and
time.
Just understanding how you're able to adapt and, give to the next.
Absolutely,
you know what
bro.
I'm saying? So as you're doing that, like who really like inspiration, like really inspired you to do the music? Because I know it could be a plethora of
things.
It's
a lot, bro. The biggest one though, like the one that I will definitely say off the top, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was the one that his videos, I was there. The premiere of You Rock My World on 106 in Park.
Wow.
I was there, not there, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I got you. I got what you mean.
I was in the living room with my people.
Yeah,
and
watching it.
We saw it, the world premiere. So it's like, Michael Jackson is a really big example of just how to do it, man. And it's a lot. I feel like throughout my life, if it has changed. I would say as a kid, Michael Jackson. Teenager, It varies. Like one of my favorite was T.I. growing
Okay.
up,
Yeah, T.I.
and then adolescence, high school, Kendrick Lamar. You
Gotcha.
know what I'm saying? So it's like from when I started, it was T.I., Kanye, Kendrick, J. Cole, still Michael Jackson, Big Sean. Like it was a lot of people, bro. And then just who I was around. You know what I'm saying? Like my friends rapping, local rappers and stuff. But it's a lot, man. Like it really is just I would have to give it to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, like for me, like you've named a lot of the names, but just to add others, I would definitely say, like, for myself, like, the Pac, the Biggie,
Yeah.
of course the Nas,
Yeah.
the Rakim, Jada Kiss as well, like
Yeah,
Jay
of
Z,
course them.
Nipsey.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Nipsey for sure. Like
Of
Nipsey,
course.
like I was listening to Nipsey ever since high school. I got the pleasure to meet him before he passed as well. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Definitely
How was that?
powerful, bro.
Yeah.
Powerful, bro. Like he just, it was just a
Sheesh.
notion of like finding purpose. Like, yo,
Yeah.
it wasn't even anything like music related. It was
Yeah.
just more so like, yo, like what's purpose? And he's like, yo, the thing that you love to do every single day, that's purpose.
That
So that
probably
went
gassed
literally,
you up to
it
the
literally went
max.
from like a 1 minute conversation to me like chopping it up with him for like 20 minutes. I'm not even
Wow.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like I will remember that day, man. It was
Yeah.
June 2nd, literally at the Fillmore, the Victory Lap tour. I upgraded my ticket from a regular joint to a VIP, and I was like, yo, wait, about to meet Nip? This is crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
literally, like, that Victory Lap album from start to finish, I'll still listen to it to this day, but I
It's
will
a great
always
album.
remember, like,
Didn't it win a
all the
Grammy?
oldies.
Didn't it
Yeah,
win a Grammy? Yeah. Well
yeah.
deserved.
And it was like, yeah, but like Nipsey, it was just like that notion of like even all of the other, songs and all the other projects, the Marathon Continues,
Mm,
now I'm saying Crenshaw, all of that, like he laid the blueprint a lot. And like I said, like
definitely.
Nipsey, he definitely got me through a lot
Yeah.
for sure. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
he knows how to. He's one of them artists that know how to talk to you, but he raps well and he knows how to tell you the game without it being like preachy
Yeah.
or it's like it sound cool and it's like he's saying the right words.
Yes.
And that's a balance because a lot of people where they saying the right words but then it can come off preachy or a little boring, but then some people are too hard and too aggressive and you don't really you're not being as preachy or not preachy but saying the right words.
Yeah, and the thing about, like when we look at it, and it's not trying, like when we look at it all, it's like
Yeah.
the power that an individual can have. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
he's bringing community together. And he
Definitely.
literally did that. Like
Yeah.
literally like, okay, he didn't really trip off of where he was from,
Right.
and then he was collaborating with other people and just bringing the whole area together. So I think
Man.
that it was just definitely something dope. And then, something that he did, something that of course, Pac did. And I
Yeah.
think what Kendrick Lamar is doing beautifully now is bringing all those people together. So
Mm.
like when we're creating these experiences and these moments and we're witnessing this, like of course like the pop out concert itself, I mean I understand
Yeah.
that moment, it was a moment
Yeah.
in hip hop, like
People was
literally
trying to
moment.
make it about Drake. I'm like, no,
It's
Kendrick
not.
know what he doing.
Yeah, it's
He
not.
know what he
Yeah,
doing.
it's not.
He knew that y'all was gonna be attracted to that notion of it being about Drake. So I feel like he kind of was like, all right, let me use that to my advantage. And he brought all those people that never thought they'd be on the same stage together. It was
Right.
beautiful.
And it was a beautiful moment, and that's what I mean about like building community and
Yeah.
really networking, like understanding like, okay, you know
Mhm.
what, everybody does play a role, everybody does play a
Everybody.
part. So like it was really a win for the area.
Yeah.
It was bigger than just two people going at it. To
I'm
me, it was
telling you,
literally, it
bro.
was bigger than that. And I think that it just, like, really reassured a lot of people in
Right.
that particular moment, man. And it is beautiful for him to do that. And I think that, like I said, with art, tell it how you tell it, say it how you say
The
it,
best way you
the
can.
best way you can.
I'm telling
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
If you can't really say it in a lot of words or lyrical, then just be blunt. Say it like a Kanye West.
Yeah.
Because Kanye is very blunt. He gonna tell you how you feeling, or and then you have some people like Common that's gonna kind of tell you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So it's like tell it the best way you can.
For sure, for sure. So like what is the motivation that you would give somebody like right now that's trying to figure it out or like doesn't know how to start? Like what would you tell that individual?
As cliche as it's gonna come off, bro, just do it. just do it. Like for real, like you just gotta do it. And when you do it, stay on it. That's the biggest thing. Like after you press play or after you hit record, do it again. And typically that's what's gonna happen because you're gonna feel, you press play and hear your voice back, or you're gonna be like, yo, that's me, bro. Like that's crazy. You're gonna wanna keep doing that. So it's definitely like just my best advice, my best motivation is to just do it. Surround yourself around people that are doing it and doing it properly, and stay grounded. Don't forget, like you're gonna do amazing things, but keep yourself, keep yourself very much grounded. I got 3 whammies, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
congratulations to all
I
of those.
appreciate you, bro. So it's like my thing is that people think that I'm gonna be like just boisterous and just so like, yeah, like I got this. Nah, man, like that doesn't define me. That's a beautiful thing. I love it. I definitely, want to get more, but it's like it doesn't define my character, it doesn't define TP. And it's just it keeps me more grounded, to be honest with you. Like it's like it actually wants me to, it keeps me level headed. It doesn't even make me big headed. So my best advice is just to stay grounded, and just stay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think that, like you sat there and said, like, when people like list accolades, you're still in student mode.
Very
like
much.
You like, bro, like this surface level, I ain't really win nothing yet.
Nothing, bro.
Or I didn't really accomplish, like, because you see yourself bigger and further, but then others may feel like, bro, what you mean, bro? Like you can kick your feet up. What are we chilling for?
No.
Know what I'm saying? And you like, nah, it's more work to be done. But I love how you said stay centered and stay grounded.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be more, but celebrate those moments, but always remain in student mode. Because like I said,
it's gonna get to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get cocky. You're gonna get big headed. The motive is gonna change. Like it's definitely gonna change, and you gotta stay positive and you gotta stay grounded. That's my biggest advice. Like great things are gonna happen to you. Just continue to be if you are not, but be a good person. Continue to be it if you are, and just don't let none of these great things that happen to us get to us. Like it's gonna happen. Like if you're a student, if you're doing everything right, great things are gonna happen to you. You're gonna be on big stages. Do it again. I hate to be that guy celebrated, but do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because like sometimes you just have to remind yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily do it for others. Like I think the biggest thing is like you don't have anything to prove to people. It's really just doing it for yourself. If you do it for the love and like you said, just staying grounded, knowing who God is, keeping him first, keeping him at the center.
Absolutely.
Everything else is gonna align. Because I would tell you literally like years ago, I started motivational like reels and videos on Instagram July 5th, 2020. Started in the podcast November 6th, 2020. This is year 5 now. Don't know how many episodes I have. Year 5, continuing to go. Right? So it's just like, yo, I'm not keeping track because it's just like, yo, this is just what the assignment is right now. And as we continue to grow, it's just going to continue to grow. And I'm like, okay, cool. It could be accolades. Oh, you did this. You did this. You met this person. Okay, but it's so many other people you can meet. Right. So many other conversations
so
you can
many
have.
other levels to reach.
Yeah, so many other levels you can go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just don't stop at that.
And I like what you said about doing it for yourself and not proving to anybody that like, okay, like, yeah, I'm doing it for you, or yeah, look, I got this because I'm proving it, I'm trying to get past you. No, it's all about doing it for yourself and making sure that whenever you do reach these big high moments, you remain chill. Don't let it get to you. Remain cool, calm, collected, and just stay in a place where, all right, cool, hungry. That's a cliche thing too. Everybody say, stay hungry, keep going. It's true though, bro.
Not for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't take advantage of those keep going DMs I get. I love it and it means a lot, so really like keep that going and always stay true to yourself and remember what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the right reason, always remember that, and don't let the accolades or the naysayers or the haters or the people that's just envious of you bother you. You know, you got to stay on top of what you're doing and remember what you're doing it for.
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing is just holding on to your why.
Yes.
Everybody's going to ask every other question. Oof. Holding on to the why.
Holding on to your why.
Holding on to your why, knowing the why.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all I would sit there and say. Hey, man, this was a great conversation, man. Like I said, man, for you to constantly grow, for you to be the artist that you are, the person that you are. Like I said, man, from one brother to another, continue to elevate, continue to inspire,
likewise,
continue to
my brother.
Uplift, because, like I said, your platform and the gifts that God has given you, He's given you, and you're stewarding them the best way possible in the way that He sees fit, and it's aligning. So I know that more doors will open, more opportunities will open for you, man. And I can't wait to see what you do the rest of this year and more years to come, man.
Same here, bro.
Like I said, it's longevity, man. So like
that's
I said,
it.
Keep elevating and keep growing and like I said, inspiring people in future generations, because you definitely are, man.
That's you, man. I don't know about me. That's you, my brother. That's you. Sure. Keep doing what you're doing, bro, for sure. Keep doing what you're doing, and we see it. I see it. I love what you're doing, and it's an honor to be here talking to you, bro.
I appreciate you,
and
man.
Your presence.
And you already know, man. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
Yes, sir.
Out.
Soundstripe.